For your information, this 100 Go Digital Joe event is the collaboration initiative between Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation, MDEC, and Iskandar Malaysia, which are aiming to build awareness on digital adoption, emphasize the need and importance of going digital, and provide guidance and expertise on digital adoption.
Many of our SMEs, especially the micros and the small SMEs, are still unaware of the funding options available for them to go digital, and especially those that come from the government initiatives. There are a lot actually initiatives that are provided by the government, and hence today we partner out with MDEC to actually do this briefing and a little bit of workshop to provide you some insight.
So hence lies a lot of opportunities for the businesses. And this is actually creating a lot of disruption as well in terms of how you're doing your business today. Some of you have probably already thought about digital, going on marketplaces, for example, going e-commerce. This is also one way of doing it. Some of you may have a lot of fear whether this is where you want to spend your time and money, right? But your competitors are doing it already.
To me, the benefits of providing digital payments is it's so much faster and convenient, lesser hassles of handling those loose change.
SME go digital, they will have great more exposure in the internet, so everything go online.
It will give them more crowd, and then more demographic will come to their company. And then that will be easier for the company to get more and more people to come and buy at their outlets.
For me, I think it can go green and you can access your data anyway.
Hello everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Now, before we start, let's just give 2 to 3 minutes for more audience to join, because we were scheduled to start at 9:30. So if you can hear my voice, just say hello. Probably just type out where you are watching this from. In which location are you watching this from? I am broadcasting it from my house in SME. And to those who are with me, I believe we have about 76 people from Penang. Hello, hi, hello. Hi, Marshall. Yes, I remember you. Hi, Billy. Down under. Wow, Australia. Nice, nice. Klang, you got from JB. Mr. Michael Warren. Hello, sir. Hi. Kuala Lumpur. Shantini from Kota Kemuning, Shah Alam. Ui from Penang. Got a lot of people from Penang today. Kuala Lumpur, yes. Good to come out of MCO slowly. Okay. Yeah, it is good. It is good. It's actually very good. Singapore. From Cheras. The topic today, we are actually focusing more on digital marketing. So today the topic is reinforcing the importance of digital marketing for SMEs with the current crisis and rise of e-commerce. Good morning, Mohu. Faith from Beijing and KL. Hi. 谢谢你. I only can speak Cantonese. I can't speak Mandarin. So my Mandarin is only the formalities. Cantonese I can pretty much, speak a little. Hi, Arvind. Hi, Kiran. Yes, I see familiar names in the chat box. Now, before we start, I just want to get everyone's attention that, we have the Q&A section for each of the speaker session and also the panelist session. So I just wanted to check that everyone, if you have any questions, please make sure to put it in the Q&A box, and if time permits, we will answer the ones which is most relevant or more been voted. Yes, there's an upvote option as well, so you can vote any questions which you seem that, okay, it's similar to yours, or maybe it's very important to be addressed. So please just click like on that, so then the thing will go up, 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 and then I'll get to see it, and we will, put this question up to either the speaker session or the panelist session. I will cover the housekeeping shortly. So I'm just getting a go sign, and we are also live on Facebook. Those who are watching on Facebook, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. And let's get started. Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SME Unplugged 100 Go Digital series, brought to you by MDEC and Word Labs Fourth Leap. This is our second episode of 6, which will be aired till 2nd of June. Let me introduce myself first and foremost. My name is Bali Dylan. I have been a professional MC for almost 10 years, experience in formal and the crazy types of events. But before we begin, on behalf of MDEC and Word Labs Business Network, to my Muslim friends, Selamat Puasa, and to everyone, be it from Malaysia or the neighboring countries or any part of the world you're watching this live, I do pray that you and your loved ones are safe and sound at home. Now, let's get to the question, what is the SME Unplugged 100 Go Digital all about? In tandem with the 100 Go Digital initiative by Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or better known as MDEC, Word Labs Business Network's Fourth Leap are hosting a series of essential discussion for SMEs to evolve, rebound during and post-COVID-19 situation. Through these series, you get to watch experts speaking topics around digitalization and how to effectively achieve digital goal to sustain and spur business objectives via keynote segments and panel discussions. Now, before we move on to the housekeeping, I just want to give you guys a brief introduction about MDEC and Word Labs Business Network. MDEC, established in 1996, MDEC is the government's response to the concept of digital economy. MDEC continues its role to increase the awareness in the digital industry by hosting events such as 100 Go Digital and many other initiatives, and to further sustain and grow and basically bring Malaysia to the map of the world. You may or may not know, MDEC launched the initiative which I already mentioned earlier, 100 Go Digital. What is it all about? It is to enable traditional Malaysian business in key sectors move towards digitalization. It's basically to bring legacy businesses and to digitalize it in each of the industry fields. To get more knowledge or updates of these events, I need you guys to please, after this event, go to the 100 Go Digital Facebook page. There's a community page over there. You can easily log in, and as I speak, I'm sure the team from MDEC will be posting up a link over there as well in the chat box. You should be able to see the link shortly. So through that link, you can actually click easily and log in and be part of that community, so you can get more updates on the initiative. Now, Word Labs Business Network, WBN function is to assist business organizations to adapt and grow in an increasingly uncertain and volatile world. The outfit looked into the subject of globalization and digital transformation through content development across multiple media platforms and events. Just a brief, now let's move into the housekeeping note. Yeah, to all participants, I already mentioned earlier that there will be a lot of Q&A segments throughout this entire series for the second episode. So please type them into the Q&A box. There's a Q&A tab over there. So if time permits, I will bring them up, and you can also upvote for any questions which is similar to yours. And there will be two polls. Yes, we have a couple of questions, and one of the poll will be right after the first session, which is the speaker session, and right after that, we will have the panelist segment. Right after that segment, there will be another poll as well. So your attention, your experience, your knowledge, your feedback is very vital into improving our work. Also, a friendly, very friendly request. This series is designed to generate ideas, to basically learn, to gain knowledge. So let's not use this platform to spam the chat with content which is not relevant. So yeah, so please, let's all focus on the session. So today, as I mentioned, we will have one speaker session followed by panel discussion, and lastly, a clinic session as well. And the clinic session is especially for those who have registered on the WBN invitation on the email. So you need to register, you need to get, because when you register, you get so much of access, because right after each session, we also send emails on slides if you wanted to have the slide pack as well. So we can actually share that to you as well. So because a lot of speaker sessions, they will be sharing their slides. So if you want to see the slides, you get to access them. So you need to register. And to those in Facebook, the link will be sent to you guys on the comment section to join. Now, without further ado, let's begin the second episode of SME Unplugged 100 Go Digital, brought to you by MDEC and Word Labs, by welcoming remark from Mr. Sridharan Velasamy, CEO and founder of Word Labs Business Network. Sri, take it away.
Bali, can you hear me, Bali?
Yes, sir.
Right. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Today, as what Bali said, we'll be focusing on digital marketing in this virtual event. So digital marketing can be very intimidating, right? And even confusing for SMEs at the start of the journey. Some find the jargons very intimidating, and even the things that they read can be very confusing to them at the start. Of course, jargons and words like digital marketing audit, right? Online conversion issues, contextual marketing, keyword proximity. All these terms sound very vague and mysterious to them, right? But it's always good to take small steps first in life and of course in everything, right? In everything that we do. First step is the key, which is research, research, and research, education, right? And to always compare notes with the many articles or thoughts on the same subject so that the knowledge can be entrenched. So that even if you appoint a digital agency, right, in future to do this digital marketing for you, you will at least know what are they up to, what are they doing, and you're not put in a blind spot at any time. So think it of this way, the base motivation is this. When we are looking for something today, the first thing we do is search on Google, right? Base motivation, when we are looking for something today, the first thing that we do is we search on Google. So it's a very simple but potent message to digest for businesses to understand and react to. Social media, search engines, and whatnot have created massive marketing options to any kind of business, micro, small, medium, large, right? What's important is being aware of the best online options that you can use in order to reach more customers for your business. Of course, that's the objective for any business, right? So this is where the journey starts for many beginners, and this is the reason that we are bringing this virtual event to you. I find that many businesses, SMEs, micro businesses don't have a clear strategic goal for what they want to achieve online. Is it gaining new customers, building deeper relationships with the existing ones? So the objective must be clear from the start, from the onset itself, right? So, and another thing is that digital marketing should not be seen in a negative light, something like, you know, I have to ensure my business survival through digital marketing if I have to close shop. It's a very gloomy approach. Think it of this way. Digital marketing is probably the most cost-effective way to reach the audience in the history of mankind ever. Digital marketing is the best cost-effective marketing tool ever invented, right? Bold statement, but I believe in it. Even with hundreds of ringgits, you can advertise online. Can we do that during the offline days, right? Advertising in newspapers, magazines, billboards, TV, these are all costly affairs, right? So while this older traditional platform can still have its own relevance in terms of pushing marketing, but the advertising, digital advertising have proved to be the most accessible tool for SMEs, cost-wise, demographics-wise, and option-wise, right? So there, of course, there's a dime a dozen, many stories of how startup companies with digital offerings brought large companies to their knees. Kodak or even Nokia comes to mind, but that's the story for another day, because that's all about business digitalization. This event is about its subtopic, digital marketing, right? But in essence, here, both is the same. Smaller companies can take on bigger companies with lesser budget through smart marketing, smart digital marketing, right? Also, SMEs and micro businesses at the start of this digital marketing journey must clearly understand that the dynamics of digital marketing will be, of course, different compared to traditional channels with different types of customer profiles, behavior, competitors, and option for marketing communications. And for SMEs that have already started the journey, then well and good, but using digital marketing without a strategic approach can still be a commonplace among them. I'm sure many of the companies who have already started this journey are using digital media effectively, and they could be getting good results, right, from their search, email, and social media marketing. But I'm equally sure that many are missing opportunities for better targeting, optimization, or suffering from other challenges, right? So here we have gathered many experts with much experience in not just digital marketing, but also business transformation, global services, and others to provide a well-rounded insights to help you with your digital marketing journey. So for the sake of new participants, as mentioned in the earlier event last week, right, the intention here is not to just have the usual online webinar sessions. Here, we would like to also capture thought leadership information and also sentiments of SMEs and businesses in general, and connect them back to enablers and government agencies like MDEC. We are also generating content from these virtual events to reach larger audience post-event through all our media platforms, right? And at the registration stage, we are capturing data and also wish lists of businesses to ensure this event is not just about pushing content, but also a space for all of us to understand SME sentiments. Our sessions will have a direct approach in assisting businesses, micro businesses, SMEs, to get connected to the right platforms in order for these sessions to be more effective for them. So today we also have an actionable clinic by a website expert. So be part of these sessions, be active during the polls, and do send your questions, share your thoughts so that they can be articulated and be useful for enablers like MDEC going forward. Please do take the time to fill up the survey forms that will be sent to you after each session of the series. This is important for us to gauge the pain points, take a more focused approach moving forward. Thank you, enjoy the sessions, and just one last one, just like what Bali said, let's keep our chat box for greetings and knowledge sharing and not spamming. While this is a virtual event, but all social etiquettes apply. Thank you. Back to you, MC Bali.
Thank you, Sri. It's actually very good point you brought that up, because let me just start my video. Okay, yes, thank you. Host, my admin is very strict, so when you're not speaking, you are not to be shown in the screen. So you have to make sure that he allows you to enter. See, even though it's digital, you have to get permission. So like Sri has actually pointed out, this session is very important to me personally, because digital marketing is something which I really focus on. So I'm really excited to tune in to this event and be part of this discussion, because we will have a speaker session and panelists after this. But now Martin Koo has a question that this whole session will be recorded. Yes, Martin, you can check out the Word Labs Business Network Facebook page. There will be live streaming, which was also captured for the last session and this session as well. And since you guys will be on Facebook, remember 100 Go Digital on Facebook. Just type 100 Go Digital. You can actually access the group, so you can get connected to many people, and you can get a lot of access to what events are happening hosted by MDEC as well. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's plunge into our first speaker of today, Maverick Foo, marketing strategist from Institute of Marketing Malaysia. Known as the OG marketer, he has helped develop 2 pioneer digital training and social selling projects for Great Eastern Malaysia. If you want to understand how to excel in digital marketing, I believe every one of you guys, including myself, we are in the right place today. Maverick, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Bali. So I'll just start by sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. It's a lot different when you do it in real life. Yeah. Somehow, usually you start with the clap, but somehow you have to basically be in the dark room somewhere in the alley, in the basement of your mom's place. Okay, so yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for having Institute of Marketing Malaysia as well. And also on behalf of Dato Sharifah, thank you for the invite. I'll keep the session really short because I believe that we want to keep some time for Q&A as well. So here's the thing, when it comes to this kind of webinar sessions, it can get really one way, and I don't want that to happen for you. So one good thing would be, if you have any questions, you can just pop up in the chat. We will basically handle it towards the end of my session. Bali will actually be assisting to curate the questions as well. And of course, if I ask any questions, you can just comment yes, no, 1, 2, just keep it as simple as possible. And the content is simple because I've been asked to basically talk about the future of marketing and debunking the myth. But I'll start by telling you first, there's actually no myth. If you want to know the future, the answer is always in the history, which is an area that we actually look at briefly, very quickly. Okay, so if you are ready to go, just type go on the chat and then we are all set. Just type go, G-O, just to know that you're all ready, have some pen and paper ready. Awesome, thank you, thank you. Okay, good, so here's the thing. if you look at this stream over here, yeah, just now Bali and I were just having a quick chat. I kind of miss the outdoors a lot after 50 days of being in the lockdown situation. And this is also unprecedented times because we have never been, even in history, our grandparents may have been through May 13 or World War II, but well, technically you can't go out because you get shot. But in this time, it's basically you're gonna samana, which is totally different. So when it comes to online businesses, a lot of them are actually basically saying stuff like, how do you, cross the gap? And then but I invite you to look at it from a customer's point of view, because from the customer point of view is that they are always on one side and they are actually looking over to the greener side. So what are some of the things that they used to say a good 50 days ago? So they'll be saying things like, hey, this online shopping looks like it will save me time, but can the merchants be trusted or not? Or they will say stuff like, okay, online food delivery, I'm a very traditional guy. I don't like my food being tapao or basically have to be brought back in plastic. But guess what? Even for someone like me, what I will have to do right now is that I have to get accustomed to it. So for those who have never done food delivery before, the conversation will become, actually, there's something interesting on TV, on Netflix, on Astro, and guess what? We can actually have all the excuses right now to try it out, right? And when it comes to online learning, just like what Word Labs was talking about earlier, there are actually a lot of things that you can actually learn online. But here's a question though, will it be effective? So a lot of times the customers are actually looking across the bank and trying to see that is the grass actually greener on the other side? And here's the thing, a lot of business owners are just tagging along. But the problem now is this: 50 days into the lockdown, and not just locally, globally as well. I just came back from Melbourne before the lockdown happened for, I think that's 6 months. So if you talk to your friends in different countries, the lockdown situation is totally very different. Like I have a friend in Portland, Oregon. They can go out, but technically after walking out for 15 minutes, you have nothing to do, you get back because every shop is closed. So it's like a ghost town over there. So what is actually on the greener side, which is something that we're going to discuss, and how businesses can actually get from one side to the other. Because here's the thing, in the 50 days that we have been in the lockdown, customers have actually crossed the river. They have actually gone to the greener side. So businesses are the one that are being left behind. So interestingly, if you look at it, how it's done, businesses are actually a few steps back, to be frank. And if you don't play catch up, we are not even competing with competitors anymore, to be frank. Our customers are actually 1 or 2 steps ahead that started advertising with newspaper. The young people in the group, if you don't know what's the newspapers, normally that's what being used to actually pack your nasi lemak in the morning. Yeah. So newspaper, move on to trade shows. For some young people, you may not know what's a fax machine as well. It's basically a printer attached to a phone line. And then some kids will ask, what's a phone line? So you can imagine in the last 10 or 15 years itself, a lot of technology have shifted. So then I move on to email, mobile, LinkedIn, and basically now doing webinars. So these are some of the industries that we are in. And then some of the areas that I work on is consulting, strategizing, training. Basically anything that is boring is actually my job to make it sexy. So I'm a marketing strategist, I'm a copywriter, and these are some of the stuff that I do. So I look forward to get connected with you, but let's move on to the main topic for today. So when this whole lockdown happened, I have a lot of, because we have mastermind groups as well with some of the local businesses. A lot of them are quite, I wouldn't say old-timey businesses, but basically they are in the previous generation. Basically they started off without going digital, very offline. And a lot of them actually came up to us and asked, hey, what are the apps I need to use? Or what's this thing and stuff like this. We even have people PMing us on the side, hey, bro, can I know what's this Zoom thing that everyone is talking about? So yes, everyone is rushing to look at the technology. That's the reason why perhaps Zoom share prices have doubled over the last 6 months as well. But here's the thing, if you're asking the technology question, you are actually one step behind. The truth is that technology will always be there, and it's actually not the right question, because the truth is that technology will change over time. But then some of the smarter ones, they'll say that, okay, so if let's say I don't want to focus on technology, maybe I focus on the creativity part of the equation. Maybe I try to be more creative in my copywriting. I try to be more creative in my marketing messages. Okay, that's good. That's a bit smarter, but there's actually one step ahead as well. So some of the smarter ones in the room, I'm sure all of you are here, or the smarter ones, will be asking this question. Actually, what's the strategy that we need to focus on? So because strategy would dictate the creativity, would dictate the technology as well. So if you ask the strategy question, like what Sri has asked earlier, then yes, what are the tools you need to use? What is the marketing message you need to put in? But actually there's a centerpiece over here that a lot of people are actually not asking, and that is actually psychology. What is the psychology that goes through the mind of the customers? So let's face it, 50 days ago, things were normal, and then 50 days in, things have shifted. The truth is that technology, creativity, strategy, everything can be thrown out the window because this is a new normal. The customers are facing something that they have never faced before. But if you take the time to really understand the customers, to be frank, they haven't changed as much. Okay, let's look at it from when times are peaceful, for example. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, people will go around having, carrying gold or having land. And that's a way for them to appeal to their need to be recognized, to feel that they have actually achieved some form of success. And today you have people walking around with the latest iPhones, with the latest iPads, with the latest clothes, not necessarily having a property or even gold, but they have some other stuff to flaunt. They will flaunt their travel experiences, they will flaunt their dining experiences, all that to feel recognized. So the truth is actually the need to be recognized, to feel acknowledged, to feel the achievement actually have been around since the dawn of man. It's just the way they express it is different. Just like right now, the psychology of all your customers, frankly, they are the same. That's why if you go back to understand them, you will realize that you'll never be outdated, because as long as you are not selling to another robot, to another machine, marketers can actually thrive really well. And I don't know about you, but we have helped clients to really make a lot of money during the last 50 days ourselves. We ourselves hit 6 figures during the span of the MCO. So a lot of businesses were asking us, how can you guys be making money at this time? Are you capitalizing on people? I'll be frank, as a marketer, we would never capitalize on people. We should leverage on the situation. So as a business owner, think about it this way. It's not about being sentimental. Like, am I capitalizing on someone's ill fortune? No, it's actually how can you help them in this current situation. So in a mastermind that we have with a group that we joined in US, so there was a gym owner. So gyms, as you know, they were all forced to close. And I think the guy has about 5 outlets. So of course he was panicked, right? So he brought the team together and he started to think, okay, what can we do? What can we do? So 2 weeks in, money is bleeding dry. Those of you who have retail outlets, I think you will understand the situation as well. Those of you who are in retail or have a physical outlet, can you just basically comment, I don't know, like O over here. So O, outlet. So we will know like who are those who actually have a physical outlet that is actually forced to close. So O over there in the chat room. So what you can do, so what this gym owner has done is that they realize that, hey, so a lot of our customers, right, can not come to the gym and we cannot serve them. So what can we do? So in a short span, they basically decided that, hey, a lot of people will be forced at home, to stay at home. There's a few things that they need help. One, how do they cook right? Because you can't go out to basically get ingredients or stuff like this. So how do you cook right? And how do you stay fit? And with all this stress that's happening, how do you basically stay healthy? So they basically create an online program, some form like a wellness membership that focuses on 3 things: how to cook right, how to sleep right, and how to work out right. In 2 weeks, they made 450,000 US in 2 weeks. It just blows my mind when I heard the story itself as well. And they were saying that, I don't know, man, after the whole lockdown is lifted, they may just close the gyms for good. So that's how businesses can actually pivot as well. So there's this, if you notice on this graph over here, there's actually something that is missing. which is actually the piece over here. So if you stay until the end, I'll let you know what's the missing piece. So let's look at what is actually happening in the landscape today. So what is the great shift that I've been talking about that everybody else seems to be talking about as well? So let's just look at the timeline. So January 2020, December 2020. So we all start the year making grand plans, great plans. This is going to be the year. We're going to we're going to start the decade with the awesomeness or whatever. But truth be told, you are not starting a decade. You are only starting a decade in 2021. You are supposed to end 2020 with an awesome year, awesome decade, right? So here's the thing. So customers will be on one path. They will be walking on one path, and basically things will be fine. And where the businesses are, they basically try to walk together with the customers, to serve the customers, putting the customers first. That's always important, right? So first 2 months, everything's fine and dandy. Everything is fine. All things are good. We hear about this COVID-19 thing, but okay lah, it's only in China lah. It's not going to get all over the world. When the COVID-19 first started, early cases in December, I was actually in Taiwan as well. So that's where people start talking about this weird flu, and we don't know what is it. For 2 months, everything seems to be fine. And then all hell break loose in March, where basically businesses are forced to lock down. People can't go out anymore. And basically people had to start going online, spending online a lot. I guess building a new kind of habit. And here's the thing. So in the next 2 months that follow, which is March and April, the business suffered. So sales have gone down because whatever strategy that you had at the beginning of the year, somehow it doesn't work anymore. But the reason is actually quite simple. Because if businesses were to take a step back and look, they will realize that the customers are no longer on this path. As a matter of fact, they've already shifted to a new path over here. So two things you can do. So one, you can continue. So today is May. Today is May 2020. You can continue on, but I think more or less if you start with the same plan, the rest of the year is going to be great for you. Or perhaps like in this session itself, what are the new plans that you can make? What are the new shifts that you can make so that you can actually cross the gaps? So because of the interest of time, I wish I have 3 days to spend time with you to talk about all the 72 gaps that people have actually gone through. But let's focus on the 3 main ones over here. So gap number 1, if you have a pen and paper, you can start writing this now. The first gap will be before the MCO lockdown. It's all about the physical exposure. Customers like to go out, they look at stuff, they touch things and all that, and then they get to talk to people and interact as well. Try on their clothes. Even when it comes to food, it's not just the food, it's the ambience and basically the music that is playing, the customer service. But because of this lockdown, the first gap that we actually have to cross is how do we create a virtual experience? How do we create a virtual experience for our existing customers? So if you look at live internet stats right now, you can just go to the website. Basically you can look at the number of people, the number of users that are in the world. That's just crazy. Numbers of emails that send, Google searches in a day. How many videos viewed today? Almost 7 billion videos are already viewed today. Facebook users, 2.5 billion. That's like almost 1/3 of the world's population are actually online right now. Number of websites hacked. And interestingly, the number of smartphones sold today, there's almost 4 million smartphones sold in the last 24 hours itself, more than tablets and computers combined. So if you think about it, the truth is that customers are still buying stuff. They are still spending money. They are just not spending with certain businesses. Why? Because they have not bridged the gap. They have not actually moved from the physical exposure to the virtual experience. So if you look at the numbers over here, it's just going to stop here right now. The message is simple. Your customers are actually online. Are you basically doing the right things to basically create the virtual experience? We're not even talking about online anymore. Customers are craving for a virtual experience that they cannot get. They are looking to replace in the physical exposure. So the key question that we need to ask right now is that, let me put this up first. You can write this down as well. How can you create and curate a winning virtual experience for your target markets? So while everybody else is like closing down their business or like, hey, we just shut down and wait for the MCO to be lifted lah, or whatever lah. So how do you actually create a virtual experience? So I heard real estate in the US. So one of the If I'm not mistaken, it was backed by Warren Buffett, but I could be wrong because it was something that I heard in the mastermind group as well. As you know, because of the lockdown, because of the economic crisis, things are getting cheaper. Things like properties, for example. So a lot of real estate investors, right, they are actually looking to buy properties. But here's the problem. They cannot go out. So what they have done is that they have created a virtual experience for those interested buyers. What they will do is that they will actually send a set of VR goggles to basically the prospect who's interested. And then someone who is actually based there, a real estate agent or a team, will basically go around the unit and they get to ask questions. Hey, can you look to the left? I want to look at the kitchen again. Can I see the fixtures on the ceiling and all that? So everything is a virtual experience, and they can ask questions, they can interact as per normal. There's ambience music even playing in the background as well. And if the investor decides to buy, the package that it gets sent together actually comes with an iPad. The iPad switches on, they put in their digital signature, they thank the new customer, and the whole iPad and the VR goggles is a gift for signing up. And that was how they sold 300 over units, if I'm not mistaken, over a very short period. So the question is that it's not that you can't run your business, it's that what's the shift you need to make, because your customers are already expecting virtual experiences, but are you giving that kind of virtual experience to your customers? So another stationery client that we have, obviously stationery shops cannot open, and he understood, Derek, he understood that he couldn't serve the parents and all that, but he also understands at the same time being a parent. Here's the thing, usually your kids are quite cute, but when you stay 24/7 with them, suddenly become not very cute anymore. It's like monkeys running around, and the parents are like, "Ayo, they're spending so much time on their devices. No way to entertain them." So what Derek decided to do was that to bring in a few art teachers to basically create projects. So he projected it over Facebook Live, and then the parents and the kids can actually sit down and do art projects together. But here's the thing, how the heck are you going to get that special 2B pencil or that special piece of paper or that special watercolor? So that's where Derek come in to basically supply art kits. So he will send the art kit over, schedule a time for the Facebook Live, and the art teacher will actually guide them in the process as well. So that is also an example of a virtual experience. So how do you create for your own business instead of moving from physical to move to virtual? Okay, so the next gap that we have to look at is, prior to this, I'm sorry for the Muslim friends who are listening, basically the picture of the photo, the photo of the food. Prior to this, a lot of people are very health oblivious. It's like, tak apa lah, nothing will happen one lah. You can just eat this, eat that. I think our YOLO lah, you only live once lah. You just go with it. But the truth is that with this whole COVID-19 situation, a shift in the mindset happened. Instead of being health oblivious, they are now very wellness conscious. It's not just about health anymore. A lot of experts are actually saying that after this lockdown, there's a very high chance there's going to be a rise, not just in divorce cases. In China, we've already seen that, but a rise in psychological cases, because it's a new norm. A lot of us cannot adjust to the new norm. So there's going to be a rise in not just self-help, but in the areas of self-care. So if you look at the e-commerce is always a good indication. So this was actually done based on a few research from Amazon and Watson, I think, Walmart, and a few other online stores. March last year and March this year, the increase in the number of purchases. Oh, okay, good. Thanks, Bali. So any questions that you have, you can just put in the Q&A tab. So if you look at it, disposable glove, weirdly, the second item, which is just 17% away, is actually bread machines. They have actually stopped buying bread for whatever reason. They have actually started making bread, or maybe they're making something for Instagram, I don't know. And then after that, you look at the other stuff would be like rice and dried grains, fruit cups, even wheat. And then if you go further down, the toilet paper fiasco was for a while, and then fitness vitamins, right? Compared to last year. So what are the things that have actually gone down? So the things that have gone down, quite obviously, luggage bags. Obviously, you don't need it right now. Briefcases, camera, even swimwear. Because swimwear, they actually stopped buying rash guards, gym bags. So if you notice anything that is built around a physical experience, the sale would have actually gone down. So the question would be, you can look over at this site as well. So, it's actually from CNBC and Euronews as well. So this is worldwide. What are the things that are increased in this short span? And if you look at the items that are bought, a lot of them are actually towards the wellness side, the wellness sides of things. And some of you have actually been reading a lot of books, been learning a lot as well. It's also to build the wellness of the mind. But let's look at Malaysia in this case. So this is actually in Malaysia, thanks to our friends from ecommerce.asia. So latex glove, 888% increase. Interesting enough, well, ladies underwear. Frying pans and wok, because a lot of them are starting to cook at home, right? So recipes, if let's say you are a restaurant, other than doing delivery, what are some recipes that you can openly share with your customers that are healthy, that can help them create a virtual experience? For example, the chef will come on board and the chef would say, okay, this is how you prep the chicken and this is the amount of salt you need to put, and then do a bit of a show and tell as well. And these are the other stuff, like for example, hair shampoo, gelatin powder, baby blanket, salt. Interestingly, all the way down to libido enhancers, 104% increase. So these are all the things that are actually indicate that people are actually moving more to the wellness, to be more wellness conscious. So the next key question that you need to ask yourself is that, how can you craft marketing messages to show that you prioritize the well-being of your target market? It's not just getting them to buy anymore. They must buy and they must feel good at the same time. So this is the second gap, because prior to this, maybe they don't care so much about health and wellness, but now they do. Will the trend continue? I'm not sure, because habit will take time to form. Some people will fall back to the fried chickens and whatever unhealthy stuff that they were doing. But I do notice even among my smoking friends, they actually smoke a lot lesser because they are in the lockdown. They don't want to go and smoke in the balcony or outside. And interestingly, they were telling me that because they don't hang out with their colleagues and friends, they actually smoke better. So that's also an indication of, you know, what type of friends that you should be having. Okay, so this is the gap so far. Everyone good? Getting a copy of the deck? Yes, Joanne, I will pass a copy to the team at WordLab so they can pass around. But just to get a gauge of the room, everyone's still okay? If you're good, just do a thumbs, type a yes if you can, if everything is good, before we go on to the last gap. Thank you, thank you. Okay, good. I hope you're taking a lot of notes as well. So these are the two things. Now for the third one, what's the third gap? So gap number 3 is, we used to be confined by local limits. It's like, oh, it has to be done within Klang Valley, it has to be done within Malaysia and all that. But because everyone is going online, even your parents or your grandparents are realizing, wow, there's actually a big world outside and I can get stuff from all over the world right now. The change will be global access, which means that to move from local limits to global access. So those of you, I think you have bought a lot of stuff in Shopee and Lazada during this MCO period. I know I have as well. And there has been a lot of delay, which is understandable. There are a lot of delays because logistics, they are, okay, truth be told, a lot of you may think that a lot of businesses are suffering. The truth is that actually some industries are doing a lot better than anybody else. Logistics is actually one of them. They are actually their biggest problem is actually they can't meet up with the demand. Though the demand is actually there. Agricultural, F&B, if you know how to pivot, yes, you'll be in demand. IT services, and like hospitality and all that, of course, it'll be bad. So here's the thing. A lot of times when you're buying stuff during this MCO period, there's going to be a lot of delay with the impending Raya coming up as well. There's going to be more delay. But this is a personal experience that I had. So while doing a lot of these webinars, I decided to get a Zoom, basically for my iPad, a stand. So I can basically use 3 monitors at the same time, right? So here's the thing. Just 2 days apart, I decided to place 2 orders. One, for this iPad stand, I placed it on the 25th of May, 25th of April, and I wanted to support a local company. So that's why I say, hey, you know what, for this stand, I tried to search for Malaysian, Klang Valley first. They were actually based in Federal Territory, KL. So I thought, okay, let's go for this guy. And I bought it, paid, and then 2 days before, I actually bought another cover as well. But this one, I couldn't find anyone in Malaysia with a new casing for the latest iPad Pro. So I decided to order from China. So 2 days apart, one you see the date there, one is 25th of April. The other one is on the 23rd of April. If you look at over here, here's the thing. Item B, yes, I did order 2 days earlier. Actually, I've already received it long time ago, last week. It took 23rd April was when I placed the order, and I actually received it on the 29th. And if you look at the date that it was packed, it was actually on the same day itself. If you look at the timestamp, I made my order at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was actually packed by 5 o'clock, and it was ready to be shipped out. Order A, for example, was actually placed on the 25th of April, and it was until the 2nd of May only my item is packed. And obviously for item A, I haven't received it. And here's the problem. For item B, it actually came all the way from China. It actually went through multiple ports to get to me. And yet it actually arrives faster than the delivery from Klang Valley. So I don't know how many of you actually have experienced this before, where you actually want to support the local businesses. You go to Lazada, you deliberately find the local one, and yet for the sometimes similar items, the China one is actually a lot faster. So here's the thing. If let's say your customers are feeling the same, because logistically in Malaysia, you can blame, oh, you know, Post Laju is slow lah, or Lazada is slow and stuff like this. Guess what? How come something from China can actually be shipped a lot faster and packed a lot faster as well than something that is basically in our backyard? So which means right now, what the customers will start thinking is that, okay, it's not that I don't support the local players lah, and if I have to wait anyway, and I can't support, and the local people are taking such a long time. I don't know, some of you have local vendors who actually cancels on your order. They actually cancel on your order from JB. I have a few items that's supposed to be sent out. After 2 weeks, they canceled it. And they're like, oh, nobody can pick up at the courier. I'm like, wow, okay. And stuff from China, I bought stuff from different Europe as well. Everything arrived on time, and you know, everything is done well. So right now, what the problem would be, the customers will start thinking, should I still, you know, basically go with you where I can go with everybody else? Right now, the playing field is actually leveled all across the world. So that's where a key question that you need to start asking yourself here is that how can you shift your position from a commodity to become a brand owner? What does your brand stand for? Because if you don't have a brand, chances are people will just go on comparing prices and speed ready. The China fellas, they can do cheaper and almost the same time as well. Might as well I just support the China one. So because there's no brand. But if a local company upheld their brand, so it's not just about speed. If let's say there's a story behind the brand, customers, I will tell you, we are talking about psychology, right? We are always looking for that justification to justify our purchase. Why you buy the iPhone X so expensive? Your friend who's an Apple fan will say that, oh, because I take photo nicer lor. You see my photo nicer, right? Or because the phone's so easy to use lah. Ayo, Android also mafana. Because they were looking for the justification. And over time, Apple users do not need to justify anymore. Because the moment you saw someone using an iPhone 11 or iPhone X, you will automatically realize, wow, this person got style, this person got class. That's why people would swarm and queue up, not right now, but they will quick queue up to buy Apple products because Apple has a brand. Can a China phone do the same thing as what an Apple phone does? Yes. Can a Korean phone do the same thing? Can. But you try arguing with an Apple fan, you will never win one. Even logic would be thrown out the window because they are buying based on emotions. So that's why if you look back at the gap over here that we talked about in the beginning, so I'm just going to summarize it over here, then we can move on to the Q&A. So what the 3 shifts that you need to make? First, you can't do the physical exposure anymore. You have to move it to virtual experiences. So we have one client who has 60 over aesthetic outlets, makeup and stuff like this. Obviously, they want to serve their customers. They can't even go to the customer's house, right? So what they have done in a very short span, they basically created a home makeover house Facebook live party. So all the wives, all the housewives, because they are so stressed, they like, look at the husband, you cannot do housework, I don't know why I marry you. My mother was right. Okay, just kidding, guys. So they have all the stress with the kids as well. All the stretch lines are coming. So this particular client, they decided to do the home care kit. And not just that, I'm not just going to send the kit to you. I'm going to get influencers to come to do a Facebook Live at 8 o'clock on this Wednesday, for example, so that we all can apply the makeup together and we can look pretty all over again. So that is a virtual experience. And then from health oblivious, how can you basically have messages that shows that you actually care about your customers during this COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 period? And instead of, and this is something you have to be very well aware of, your customers already know this. Locally, I cannot get, I'm going to go global. Why? Because they can do it a lot faster, and chances are you're going to do it a lot cheaper. Those of you who never print name cards from China before, you should try. 2 boxes of name cards will only cost you 3 ringgit. The cost of shipping is actually more than the cost of printing itself. So let's just move on to the last part, so that, you know, the last piece of the puzzle, so that you can at least go to sleep, right? If not, it's like, hey, Maverick, say got one more piece of puzzle. What is it? The last one is actually community. In these times of crisis, in these times of need, or whatever financial recession that's going to come, always stay with the community. That's why I totally respect what MDEC is doing, what WordLabs is doing, putting this together. Because if you shift from fear to focus, like what can I do to make the situation better, you will realize that you are less you're basically less affected by your emotions. So always remember one thing as well, if you understand the psychology of why businesses fail and you learn from it, you can succeed. So Sam Walton of Walmart, this is the thing that he do. He will drive around town looking for grocery shops that are closing down, and that, not to buy them. Sometimes he did, but he will actually go there and basically talk to the owner. Hey, can I know what you did wrong on the marketing side, on the logistics side? And that's the reason why Walmart became where it is today. So the last thing I want to leave yourself with would be, if you understand the psychology, you can understand the patterns of your customers. Don't talk about technology and all that, but should I go to Facebook? Should I go to TikTok? Should I go to LinkedIn? Don't look at that first. Look at your customer and identify the pattern, because humans, above all else, we are creatures of habit. After a few days of doing certain things, we build a habit. And it usually takes 21 days to create a new habit. We have already been in this lockdown for 50 days already, as what Bali has mentioned, which means new habits are formed. New patterns are already formed. How do you recognize the pattern? You basically have to understand the psychology, because once you understand the patterns, that's where all the profits are. And that's how you can basically make money, even in times of crisis, whether it's today or the future. With that, I really thank you for the time, for having me. Thank you. Please visit IMM for some of the certification courses that we run as well. During this lockdown period, you can get yourself certified. And if you want to be connected with me, the best place is actually go to LinkedIn. Just look for my name. As far as I know, there's only one Maverick Foo with that particular face over there. And with that, let's look at some questions that, yes, Top Gun, thank you, Girish. I also know which jet area that you're from, if you can mention that movie. Yeah. Okay, so Bali, will you facilitate the,
yes.
How much time do we have left,
yes.
actually?
I think we already have overrun the session, but no worries. We'll take one question.
Okay, you pick, brother.
No worries. Until and unless my security guard let me in with my video, that's the thing, because my face cannot show.
Oh, come on.
Okay, but I really enjoyed your comparison when you actually spoke about delivery in Malaysia and overseas, because that actually caused a storm in the chat, which I've never seen in any sessions. Everybody started talking about it, same experience.
So really tekan on the button this time, like really
tekan, man, I tell you. Man. Thank you, Maverick. Okay, so now, Maverick, a lot of people have been asking a number of questions to you. Like, number one is that, okay, the fitness edition, they want to know more about the video and concept. Perhaps you could actually just type that out in the chat. The fitness center, which was doing that, that example you gave, that they actually changed their model.
They're actually based in US actually. So I need to get the name of the gym. But they're actually based in US, yeah.
Okay.
But now, if you want to look at the local case, if you can give me like a quick 1 minute, look for this company called swimin12.com. Very local, Klang Valley, because they actually created a program where you can actually swim without a pool. The best the most mind-blown thing I've heard during this MCO period. He's actually one of our clients, EJ. So obviously, as you know, all the clubs, all the swimming clubs are closed. So if you go to swimin12.com, they actually have online programs where you can actually learn how to swim in your living room. So that one is that one, talk to them directly, is a lot easier. And not only that, the second mind-blown thing that they did over the weekend, they decided to teach all the swimming coaches around the world their method for free. Okay, that is the most mind-blown part. So check out what they're doing. Let me just type it over here, Swim in 12, look for EJ.
Okay, Maverick,
yeah.
I really want to, just type it in. I really want
Awesome.
to actually get this question.
Cool.
Can we go digital if the nature of business is B2B, which we need to understand the customer's technical requirements before able to recommend suitable products for them? So,
can you get... Okay, so in that case, the question is the answer is simple. If you can still get on the call or Zoom call with your client, end of the day, I think if you're still talking to another fellow human being, the sale can happen. Fulfillment, it could be a bit tough because if you like physical, logistical challenges and all that, but that doesn't change the fact that you can actually still offer something. So a case study, Nicholas Gunn, you can look him up, local guy, does forklift. So obviously in this period of time, very B2B, how the heck are people going to buy forklift, right? So he decided to pivot himself. Instead of selling forklift, he is selling maintenance packages for forklifts, because he's basically telling the clients, if you don't maintain the forklifts over a period of time of not using it, the repairs is going to be worse. So why not you pay something right now? I give you that kind of insurance guarantee. Anytime anything happens for the next 6 to 12 months, my guy will go and basically get it done for you. So the products that you offer will need to change a bit, because obviously I cannot ship a forklift to you anymore, but that's not stopping my technician from serving the existing forklifts. So that was a great pivot story from Malaysia. Happened. I prefer to look at case studies that are actually based in Malaysia, so we can relate better.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maverick. Once again, Maverick Foo, Marketing Strategist, Institute of Marketing Malaysia. Definitely is the Top Gun in marketing in Malaysia. Thank you so much, Maverick. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Okay, so we are running short of time because we have to move to the panel discussion. Initially, the plan was to go to the poll segment, but now let us discuss about poll segment later. We will go into the panel discussion as we get drenched in raindrops of idea through our panel discussion today. So remember, for any questions, click on the Q&A tab and type your questions, and let's introduce our panel for this episode. Our first panelist, Girish Ramachandran, Executive Director, 27 Group. Girish founded 27 Group in 2018, and he is one of the top leaders in the industry, bringing over 27 years of experience in managing consultation assignments. Our second panelist, Vittorio Furlan, Head of Business Insights, ADA Asia. Vittorio leads Business Insights, a team dedicated to providing data-driven solutions to gain positive business outcomes. Working closely with data analysts, data scientists, and industry experts, he uses artificial intelligence and machine learning with the aim to drive better decisions making in the corporate world. And our next guest, this one is definitely my favorite because, McDonald's, hello. Eugene Lee Gunkiat, Regional Marketing Director, Asia, McDonald's. Eugene works closely with the local markets across Asia. He focuses on assisting and consulting markets across Asia on their marketing plans, strategies, and tactics. He's also one of the key contacts and representative for the Asia region on the global stage, working closely with the international leadership to shape McDonald's marketing worldwide. Now, moderating this segment, he's summarized in a short word is powerhouse. Powerhouse, yes. Bobby Varanasi, CEO of Matrizel. Bobby is one of the top 25 acknowledged leaders in the global sourcing space, bringing with him over 15 years of experience in consulting and management across IT and business process services. Bobby, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Take it away, sir.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Vittorio, Girish, and Eugene. We've got a shrunken window of an opportunity as opposed to an hour. So let's try and make the most of it. So I'll jump right in. First and foremost, as we're talking about digital marketing, the future of marketing, and most probably in the context of digital marketing as it relates to this virus and what happens in a post-COVID world. So I would like each of you to take a few minutes and give your overarching thoughts on the question: has digital marketing really changed, or is it the same in a new fashion? Maybe Girish, you can start.
Yes, hi, Bobby. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts on this. I think it has not really changed. What has actually out there that a lot of people have been doing for the last 20 years is just being known to a lot of people in Malaysia, I would imagine, especially the SMEs. I don't think they are really aware of what digital marketing and the whole space of advertising and getting their products and their brands out there. So my take is, I think this is an extremely valuable learning experience for SMEs because they're forced to now look into the space of digital transformation and likewise digital marketing.
Perfect. Vittorio, your take on this?
Hi, morning everybody. Morning, Bobby.
Morning.
I think it's actually a great time now to talk after Maverick did his presentation, because really, and the second what Girish says, digital marketing per se has not really excessively changed because of COVID. What has dramatically changed is that people now want to shift to digital. In fact, people have already shifted to digital. And if you think that even people that never used Zoom before, now they've been kind of forced to use that one as a communication tool. There has been a shift that using Maverick's words now has become or will become entrenched in people's lives. So if in the past you could have got away with, say, a potentially average digital marketing and could have got by with that, and now in the future that is going to change. Your digital marketing must be up to scratch, but overall what needs to be up to scratch is your ability to give a digital and a virtual experience to your customers as much as possible. That's the real change introduced by COVID, in my view.
That's right. Great. Eugene, over to you. I know you're not an SME, definitely. You're a large organization.
I was questioning why I was invited, but it's great to speak to everyone, and thanks to World Labs for inviting me. So what I feel is that we've seen a 40% lift in digital media consumption today, right, during the MCO. Because of the MCO, people are at home more, so we're seeing a 40% lift in digital consumption, and this information is validated by Google, on YouTube, and the time people are spending on it. And the more important part is that this trend will sustain into the future, post MCO, into the new normal, right? It's not going to go away, and it's something that people will continue to practice. This means that if any of the companies here are already on a digital platform, or they're already doing advertising, or they're doing some form of digital marketing, the current planned budgets might be watered down a lot. So think of that 40% increase, right? So viewership has increased by 40%. On our end, on the McDonald's side of things, I think the plans to increase budgets and to skew budgets into digital, I think that's something that we're looking at to really optimize things further.
Right. Wonderful. So let's take a quick shot at the SME sector, right? And we'll not talk about the ones that are technically offering services or professional services as much as we talk about the offline businesses, like people who are in supply chains or running small stores. And all of them have been dramatically impacted over the last 8 weeks. And as they begin to get back to normal, I presume starting yesterday, in the next few months, they will all start trying to bring their business back to a sense of normalcy. Are you seeing that any of these offline businesses, this SME sector especially, are they really leveraging technology, or are they just still looking to do the same things, but with a lot more fiscal caution? Maybe we can start with Girish.
Yeah. So this is the real elephant in the room. The question that everybody wants to know: how do I go about doing this? We've actually done a bit of work around the job losses. If you just start with that, the numbers are around 2 million. When we triangulate the data, it's coming out to about 1.4 million. So the question is, how much of those job losses will actually get into rehired positions? Because the moment this pandemic goes away, which could take 6 to 12 months, and you go back to what the new normal is, as they say, you're going to have certain people who will still be out of a job and certain businesses still out of a job. Now, this is the analysis that we really need to do, because what we're thinking is that everybody is going to be out of a revenue, and we're not going to go back to normal. So SMEs should really focus around rethinking their businesses and rebuilding their businesses. We're not saying get rid of the businesses, but they need to redo that. And one of the key strategies is effectively going to be how they market it. Yeah. Right. And this is the topic we're talking about. So I think it's really about education in Malaysia, because a lot of our surveys show that SMEs are, I think 70% of SMEs are just not ready for digitalization and digital transformation, and trying to even get their products out there through normal tools such as even Google tools, Zooms. It's just not there. So this is the focus that I think we should start with. It's education, yeah, and we need to really give them confidence. Yeah.
So I think it's a follow-on thought to that, Girish, from what you're saying is that rushing into quick and easy solutions may not necessarily translate to value as much as it's about rethinking the business model and ensuring that digital underpins all of those actions. Is that what you're alluding to, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Vittorio, your take on that, please. SMEs, this whole piece around readiness.
Yeah, look, Girish makes a very good point, and I think the trick there is to rethink about yourself, because every business really has some activities that from now on have to be ported onto digital. That goes even beyond just digital marketing per se. But if we go back to Maverick's presentation, we heard about these swimming classes that have been ported online to people that don't even have a swimming pool. That sounds quite a crazy idea. Or giving away a training for free to swimming trainers so that they would start doing it. It sounds absolutely crazy, but actually it worked. And so there are other examples. If I look at one of my home countries, Australia, a chain of high-end restaurants started doing home delivery. Now, typically, when you think about home delivery, you will think about McDonald's, you will think about Grab Food. You would not really think of having the best ever steak on a Saturday night with your family and wife. But what they said is that actually, if we look at the consumer still want to have that experience. It doesn't matter whether we are in lockdown. It doesn't matter whether they cannot come to the restaurant, but the experience is what counts. And so the high-end chain has been able to recreate the same experience in the home environment. And so that is really the trick for SMEs. SMEs will be faster in thinking about what the consumer really needs and really want to experience, should be able to adapt the way that they do it to satisfy that. And that goes, of course, through digital and through digital marketing.
That's a wonderful point to make. So which kind of leads to the presumption that just having these SMEs leveraging digital marketing solutions may not be necessarily the right thing to do or the sufficient thing to do, right? It is they may also have to rethink the entire experience that they are trying to provide to their customers, or even in terms of how they're positioning the value of their products, right? You're not talking about just getting onto the digital bandwagon, but doing something different fundamentally in comparison to what they did in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was Eugene that mentioned about focusing on, say, a specific platform for marketing, be it Facebook or Google. But actually, that's just a very, very small component of what the organization needs to think. It's way broader than that. The tools or the technology is something that comes after having decided how you're going to change yourself and really focusing on what your customer or what your client is there and they want to experience in this situation and post the situation.
Wonderful. Eugene, so from a McDonald's standpoint, so what, I mean, you do a lot of different things every time. Is there something that you have done dramatically different that really needs a call out here from a digital marketing standpoint or consumer experience?
I think the biggest learning that we've had is that customers are reacting to brands being human at this point in time, right? So everyone is concerned with their health, everyone is concerned with their safety, and I think that it's been really interesting to see how customers are reacting to, for example, a product version of advertising versus a brand, more human type of advertising. So it's been really interesting to see, and we've been getting a lot more good feedback when it comes to just showing how, as a brand, we are human and we're all going through this together, right? So sometimes we think of McDonald's and it's a huge global brand, but at the same time we are also run by 12,000 Malaysians that are there. So customers think to hear from us on how we are keeping our people safe. Customers are wanting to hear from us on what are we doing to keep our customers safe, whether it's contactless deliveries, whether it's things, social distancing in the restaurants, whether it's even the simple thing of writing the temperatures of the people, of the delivery riders that are delivering your food to you, or the person that prepared your food at the restaurant. Customers are responding a lot more to that versus the product stuff that we are putting out. So there's been a change in sort of that mentality and how customers are interacting with us. Just to the earlier question on SMEs, I think what I've personally been very impressed with, and Vittorio alluded to that a little bit, is how entrepreneurial SMEs can be, and they can be very, very experimental. And I've seen so many examples of it just on my own social media. Going live engagement, I think, has been increasing significantly, right? I've seen people that are selling tires, like car tires, and they are going live to sell their products and to explain their products live. People that are selling fish, they have been going live, to sell their fish in bulk and things like that. And it's really been really impressive to me that SMEs can find a way to sort of pivot, and they can experiment with a lot of different things. Because they're not bound by, let's say, for example, for McDonald's, I have global guidelines that I have to follow, and I have global rules that I have to follow. And SMEs can be really, really creative in the way that they engage with consumers. And to that swimming example earlier, right? So it's very interesting to see how SMEs can pivot. And I envy SMEs sometimes because they have all this freedom to sort of do what they want.
But while that pivot seems to be interesting, or maybe in response to no other options at this stage, right? So one could argue that they're leveraging these technology-based tools, but are they fundamentally doing anything different apart from selling? I mean, is that what we are beginning to see, or is that just the fact that they're adopting a technology tool to do the same thing they've been doing so far?
I think it's both. I think they are doing something dramatically different. Like, for example, when you go into, I wouldn't say dramatically different. So when a customer walks into a restaurant, or let's say a tire shop to buy tires, right? You have a salesperson there that's explaining everything. They're just taking that same core insight, and Maverick spoke about this earlier, where fundamental truths and people's patterns and behaviors don't change. It's just that they're taking that and they're leveraging technology to do the same thing by explaining the tire live online to people. So it's doing the right things that the customers want, just in a different format. So
That's a great point to make. So, which leads me to this question, which I would like all three of you to take a shot at, is how different is articulating experience going to be in the context of digital marketing? Because articulating a product and its features, yes, I think there's nothing much has changed, right? The channels of communication may have changed from physical stores and dealer showrooms to a virtual environment. But is the content also changing? And are marketers helping the SMEs with that? Are we beginning to see that kind of a shift? I would like all of you to take a shot at this. Maybe we start with Girish again.
Yeah. So this is about storytelling, right?
Yeah.
End of the day, it's about storytelling. If you look at Maverick's presentation, I don't think anybody dropped out of that presentation throughout that whole thing, because he planned it. He had great content. He told a story. He kept people engaged, and there was always a participation. If you notice, he asked for comments. He had good statistics. He had some piece that was always missing, and you had to watch the whole thing to get it. This is what it's about. It's telling the right story. Now, the problem is, if you've got a product or a service that nobody wants to buy, then you got to reinvent and rethink that. Yeah, I'm not suggesting everybody go out there and do something new, but rethink your existing business and see how to do it a little bit differently. I think that's the first point. My second point is, I think we have to be careful with things like direct marketing as well.
Yes.
You know, in the last 30 days, I've been approached by maybe 100 different people who I have no idea who they are on LinkedIn and all kinds of media, trying to sell me all kinds of things. And that's a bit, that people are not comfortable with these things. So we need to think and go back to traditional ways of communicating and marketing, but do it with wonderfully created, branded experiences. Yeah.
Right.
And this is the key to the whole thing. How do we get that storytelling out there?
Wonderful. Vittorio, your take on this?
Yeah, it makes me smile hearing what Girish is saying about the emails that we have received during the last 2 months. Because more or less every organization that we had any type of interaction during the last 10 years, they felt the urge to tell us what they were doing about COVID-19, which in a way was diluting the message, because they were exactly all the same emails.
All the same.
But I just wanted to build on what Eugene was saying about the car tires. I think that the change is, again, thinking about what the customer wants to experience. If I go back to pre-COVID, and you think about going and change your car tires, the experience maybe is actually you go to the garage, you spend say half an hour or an hour sipping a coffee, reading the paper. In the meanwhile that they do the change in the tires, it may be that actually that was a good experience then, but now it has changed. It needs to change, because nobody wants to stay there just waiting in contact with random people and potentially being exposed to further risk. So when there is this shift, and now we know that most likely there is a shift that the consumer does not want to go to the garage and do that, then you need to figure out how you're gonna engage the consumer in what you would have done previously face-to-face, whether it's understanding the type of tires that they want, whether how you understand how they're gonna use the car. And the power of digital is that you know a lot already about your consumer well before even they almost think about changing the tires of the car. You may know what car they have, may know what type of preference they have, the type of budget they are interested in spending. And so you're able to port that experience from the store to digital, but you can enrich it in a much bigger way, and then create what Girish is saying, a story around that to make it more and more compelling. That's what is really going to change.
Wonderful. So let's take a view from the marketer's standpoint, the digital marketing companies and the providers who are offering solutions. Obviously, they come with a lot of expertise in being able to help an SME or any company for that matter package a product or a service or a value proposition. Do you think that they should also be doing something different now, particularly as it relates to an SME? And what would be some of those things? Eugene, maybe you can take a shot at it and then we'll go around the table.
I think That's a great question, by the way. It's in terms of packaging and offering that solution, I don't think it's a one size fits all for any industry and for any sort of product or business. So I think it's very important that when digital companies do approach SMEs, it's helping them figure out a solution in a very creative way, right? Because just advertising on Facebook or just putting a creative up on Instagram, that's not digital, right? That's not moving into digital. And just thinking about it holistically on how we're going to engage consumers, being very creative in the ways that we engage with them, and thinking of a key way to stand out, because everyone is now saying, hey, let's move into digital, let's do something on digital, right? But how do you stand out versus the rest of every other person that is now, the flood of people that are moving onto digital? Wonderful.
Girish, your take on that, please.
Yeah, I think it's I go back to my first comment. This is nothing new. In our business, this is a basic tool that we need and we must have. And every business should be already equipped. So I think it's sort of educating those who are either afraid or they don't realize that it costs nothing to get onto this bandwagon and get more revenue, get more customers. And really it's about taking that first step. And this is the part where SMEs are extremely vulnerable, because statistics have shown that they have cash flow for 2 to 3 weeks. And when COVID came in, 2 to 3 weeks means a lot of businesses right now are not only cash strapped, but they won't have the confidence to restart. Yeah. So I would focus around people who are able to hang in a long term with the SMEs, almost go in and change your model of marketing and become partners with the companies that have something that they can be reinvented, rethink their business strategy and models, and create these content storytelling branded experiences, and make sure that organizations like MDEC, for example, has been doing some amazing work, and engage with them. There's a lot of things that the government is doing, but I think the SMEs are just not aware of it, and that's my take.
All right, great. Vittorio, one point I want to ask you, and it relates to a question that's come from one of the audience as well. So I'll give it a larger picture. The question here is about, is digital marketing the only solution that can help all the industries that have suffered from this pandemic, right, to get out of the rut they're in? What does your data say? You're in the analytics space, you do see a lot of trends. And what else should a company be doing? Somehow there's a perception that if you just went online, just did everything digitally marketed, we should be fine. But I think fundamentally something's missing here, right? Your take on that, please.
Yeah, it's a good question actually, and I think there are two parts to that. One is that yes, digital marketing is a must. There is no real other way that SMEs or broader organizations should think about communicating with customer. It's more or less a hygiene factor at this stage. Of course, print and traditional media still have a role, but it's becoming smaller and smaller. The point is that we've been looking at data quite a lot. We are a data company at heart. We are an artificial intelligence company, and we really like to look at the behavior of people, and that's what we really find interesting, and how the behavior of consumers. And across Southeast Asia, we look at around 400 million consumers have changed since COVID started, and how it's going to change now that COVID is finishing. So if I were to say something about an SME or an organization, I know that many will suffer now because of shortness of cash flow, because of the economy, but the ones that are gonna live longer are the ones that are able to understand their customer in a better way. And as a marketing agency, as an advertising agency, we of course can help them, but there is also something that the business per se needs to focus, which is being able to capture information about the customer, be able to listen about the customer, and eventually be able to leverage that to provide a significant better experience. That's probably how organization needs now to think, the ones that are able to survive, to be able to build for the long run.
Okay. Vito, I'll just continue with you on for a bit, because there's a question that's a follow through. The question is around what does an SME do, to start leveraging these digital solutions and learning how to sell, etc. So what is it that you would, do as a digital marketing solutions company when you go to an SME? What are the things that you would possibly do and what you would expect them to be ready with?
Yeah, look, there are of course different angles that would be taken depending on the specific industry and the specific situation. But probably to mention a couple. What we see is that many businesses that are predominantly digital already, that should be able to fulfill completely digitally, actually they've got many gaps in between. What we try to help this type of businesses with is to create a seamless experience from the moment in time a customer discovers they have a need to the moment in time the customer is going to recommend the product that they bought or the service that they bought to somebody else. Because the seamless this experience, the more likelihood is that the customer is going to come back and the customer is going to refer. So this is one type of intervention that we would recommend straight away. The second one is for customers that are less digital in a way, that require steps, either because, for example, they are QSRs like McDonald's, or because there is a physical element. What we tend to do with them is mostly work on understanding the customer and the specifics, characteristics and the experience that the customer is after. Because oftentimes that is not really fully understood. Or oftentimes when there is a significant shift like it has happened now is not understood, and the brand or the client needs to in a way reset themselves and reassess that. I'm gonna share before the end of the webinar, I'm gonna share a link to one of the analyses that we did on how people have changed and how targeting people has radically changed during COVID, which we basically discovered by looking at the behavior of 400 million people in Southeast Asia. I'll post the link in the Q&A in the chat at the end for people to take away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vittorio. So we'll move on to one more question, and one of our very good friends, a thought leader in the industry, has very poignantly pointed out that maybe this is time for us to start considering hyper-local solutions, as opposed to really spreading the gamut too thin, because everyone and anyone is on the online bandwagon, right? So Kirish and Eugene, if both of you can take a shot at it, do you think hyper-local is the way to go, and therefore that may lead to us not just being close with the communities that we want to serve, but also the solutions that come to play, the marketing that goes with it, all of them kind of fit seamlessly with each other? Your take? Yeah.
I'll take a stab at it. So I have this example that I always tell the team when I'm working with them, whether it's the agency, whether it's the marketing team. And this example is the kaya on toast example. So imagine your kaya is the amount of marketing budget that you have, right? You only have a fixed amount. No one has unlimited amounts of kaya to spread across. So, but if you take that small serving of kaya that you have and you spread it across 10 pieces of toast, each piece is going to taste like nothing, right? You're not going to taste any kaya at all. But if you take that same amount of kaya and only spread it across one piece or two pieces, those two pieces are going to taste, fantastic, or they're probably going to, at least give the kick to the person that's eating. And that's the same thing with marketing as well, right? when you take that limited amount of budget and you go mass and you want to get every single person, you can't, even for a brand like McDonald's, you cannot be everything to everyone. There's no such thing, and you can't do that. So hyper local targeting, I think, is definitely the way to go, especially for SMEs, right? Because you're doing business within a certain geographic area, a certain demographic as well. So not spreading yourself too thin is the biggest advice. And if a big brand like McDonald's is already deploying it, it's even more crucial for a smaller brand like SMEs. And I'll just give a McDonald's example on how we've executed this in the past. And you know, people on the call have probably seen this, but we've done billboards. And you think of billboards, and billboards are you know, really mass marketing kind of things. But what we've done is we've applied that hyper localness to it. Maybe not hyper local to a very specific area, but at least to the States. And you've seen it we've done billboards in Kelantan that have Kelantanese on it, and that have you know, local nuances. In Johor, in Malacca, in Penang, where the one we had the Penang Bridge on it. And the feedback from customers was tremendous, right? So because you're able to touch them locally, and because they feel that, hey, you're relevant to me in a local environment, I think that's very, very crucial. So again, just to that point, no one has unlimited amounts of budget. So I think it's extremely important that you be very fixated on spending it on one or two pieces of toast, and not spread it across. You know, let's try to do everything across the board.
Wonderful. Girish, I got a different question for you, and I'm sure you have a very interesting response to this. It's got two parts to it. One is the traditional complaint that we hear in Malaysia about how we continue to complain a lot, and we tend to be biased against local companies, and we are more in preference of overseas firms for a variety of reasons, including primarily, of course, that they are probably more competent and proficient than we are. So the converse is that we probably seem to be having a lot of mediocre firms in the country, and consequently service sector does continue to suffer. So the question here is, in the context of an online transformation where it's borderless, do you see that some of the opportunities for us to get rid of the mediocrity do present themselves? Or is it the case that if we were to hyper-localize and customize some of the products and solutions, they themselves might be seen as less mediocre than they are currently perceived?
Yeah, so this is sort of a dilemma that we sort of breaking into now. Traditionally, you would see that people will always say, build something close to you that's local, grow it, and then once it's got a certain critical mass, you export it and you branch out and globalize. I think the way that technology is affecting businesses, consumers, behaviors, governments, politics is you can actually set up a $1 billion business in 6 months right now. So if you look at the case of Grab, yeah, Grab was my taxi, you know.
That's right.
And right now it's Grab. So I think there is some thinking behind, get it right where it's close to you, because you can talk to your customers, you can know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. But imagine if your customers are around the world. Yeah, so it's really about the product and service that you're trying to sell, and what is it? I think we've got wonderful opportunities. Just look at TikTok. Yeah, TikTok is something that's very new, and I'll give you an example of an interesting free way to market. There is this gentleman called Dr. Calvin, and I think he runs a curtain business, MK Curtains. I don't know this person, but he's got 8.5 million likes, and he's got 900,000 followers. Yeah, if you watch his content, it's all about storytelling. Yeah, and it's doing good. It's about doing good. You know what Maverick was talking about, the community engagement, keeping it local. Some of his content is in Chinese, it's in Bahasa, you know, and that's brilliant, because I'm quite sure there are people out there who are watching his TikTok videos, and it's not Malaysians. Now, imagine if an SME can come up with very creative content and put it out there on channels that get extremely strong followers. Yeah, and this comes back to influencer marketing, which I think is very important. Yeah, you need very good content marketing, number one. You need community engagement. You need your e-commerce and your marketing platform so people can go and buy this online immediately, fast, quick, and cheap. And the last part is influencers. I think there's a lot of local influencers that are coming out. These are people who have about 1,000 to 100,000 followers. And they may be local. They may be people that they're ordinary people who just have a good following because they're always active. And they can do fantastic amount of return on investments using influencer marketing. We estimate about 600% is actually the return. So if you spend 1,000 ringgit on an influencer, which could be local, you probably get about 6 times that in return.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. I think we're coming to the end of the session and I've got to rush to another session. So gentlemen, if I can give each of you 20 seconds to give your top of mind recommendation for SMEs in terms of leveraging digital marketing. So we'll start with Vittorio.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably one takeaway is that to think heavily about your customer, think about what experience you want to give about the customer, and how you are able to use the data and capture data about them to know more about what they really like, and then deliver against that promise. I think if you're able to hit this one, especially in a time of difficulty, you have much higher chances to be successful.
Wonderful. Eugene, your take?
For me, I think, experiment as much as possible, right? There's no better time to try something new. There's no better time to just be adventurous and out there. There's so many things and so many ways that you can engage with your customers, whether it's through, I've seen Facebook Lives and my earlier example on tires. And it's just people putting themselves out there, just thinking of creative ways that you can communicate and engage with your consumers. And I always allude back to this. People will forget what you tell them, and you can throw an ad at them, and they'll forget immediately, right, after you tell it to them, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So that's very, very important, and engaging with customers, through whether it's digital means, whether it's, whatever other means, that is the most important thing to remember.
Wonderful. Girish, your 20 seconds. We started with you. We'll round it up with you.
Yeah, I think SMEs are basically cash strapped. So my one take, which I think we didn't talk enough about, was marketing automation. Yeah, a lot of things can be automated right now. You have voice bots, chat bots that right now can call you, Bobby, and sell you something, and you're actually talking to a robot. It's not a chat, it's voice, So these are things that are out there, and just engage in stuff like this, because a lot of them are pay-per-use, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. And experiment, like what Eugene mentioned, experiment, because right now we're in a crisis, but I see opportunities. And I think entrepreneurs out there need to get moving, because we need to start attacking this with brilliant ideas and executions and business models. Thank you.
Great. That's wonderful. Gentlemen, thank you so very much for this. I know we spent just about 35 minutes, but I think we got a lot of conversations out of the way. I'm looking forward to further conversations with yourselves. Thanks to Word Labs and MDEC and everyone else who've been listening to us. Over to you, Bali.
Thank you, Bobby. Bobby, obviously you miss the sea so much until you have uploaded the background of the sea.
Yes.
My love and my positive energy to you, brother.
Thank you.
See you on the other side.
Cheers.
And I'll definitely join your scuba dive.
Sure.
Definitely.
Will do.
Next one.
All
okay.
right. Thank you. Gotta go.
So once again, thank you, Girish, Vittorio, Eugene, Bobby. That was simply brilliant. And now, before we move on to our final segment for today, we have the first poll, which is supposed to be taken place before the panelist segment, but we didn't have time. So now let's go to our first poll immediately. Here we go. First question, what are your primary goals for digital marketing? Second question, What digital methods were most effective for you and your organization? Third question, what were your biggest digital marketing challenges in 2019, 2020? Which social media platforms do you find most effective for your needs? And last but not least, the last question, how are you making your digital marketing strategy more effective in 2020? Okay, I'm answering mine as well. Okay, and okay. So I hope you have already answered. And while we are moving on, while we're waiting for the results, are we going to be waiting for the results at this time, or we are not going to, we're going to move on straight to the clinic? And while we're waiting, 30 seconds. Okay, 30 more seconds. We're going to be getting the results. But right now, while we are still waiting, just wanted to actually get everyone's attention that the MDEC 100 Go Digital Initiative, it is to enable the traditional businesses to be digitalized, so to move to the digitalization sector. Now, to know more updates or to know more about this entire initiative, you can actually log in via Facebook. There's just type 100 Go Digital and request, and you will join the group. And I believe the link will be shared to you shortly onto the chat box. And right now, to our final segment, let's go. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, you know, the final segment is SME Unplugged Clinic. Now, when you're not feeling well, you pay a visit to the nearest clinic. Simple, right? Now, what if you have a problem with Google? And for instance, like the search engine, you know, whenever you type something and you want your result or your website to be the top of the order, and how do you do that? Now, let's figure out, because that's why we are here for the final segment. A digital marketing specialist from Exabyte Network, Martin Tang, is here to show us how Google will love your website. So his proven track record includes assisting in maintaining over 100 keywords on the first page of all Exabyte division websites. On this session, Martin will share the SEO basic to do or how to make Google love your website. Martin, take over.
Hello. So
Hi,
do you
Martin.
guys can hear me, right?
Yes, you look
Just to
like
check.
you're almost going to start a recording session and you're going to start singing.
Yeah, okay. So let's start now. Let me share my screen. So do you guys can see my screen, right? Let me move. So today I want to talk about, I try to squeeze as much as possible 10 tips about how to make Google love your website. So just a brief introduction is, mine is actually under Exabyte Digital. So in short, is Exabyte Digital is like marketing agency. So you always heard about Exabyte, always mentioned about grow your business online. So here is our team. Next is, what do we focus is probably, I think most of you already know, it's like Google Ads, SEO, Facebook Ads, Instagram Ads, all the pay ads. And then including if you have the B2B one, we have the Alibaba Go Supplier. That one is more to B2B. Then, so here's our satisfied client, just a few of them. It's like throughout like the 5-6 years, so we have like all variety of clients. So feel free to ask me any question in the Q&A. So we have like client from retail, F&B, educations, and all sorts of industry. So this help us like we gain our knowledge, we try and error. Like just now, the panelists say you need to keep trying and experimenting. So let's start now. SEO tips number 1, I'll talk about local SEO. So if you think about last time, the MCO 1, 2, phase 2, the primary question is, how do I find your business? Regardless, you are brick and mortar or services. So the first thing is, in SEO world, we call the short form is NAP, meaning name, address, phone book. So these three things, name, address, phone book, is the most important one. You need to update at all platforms, including your website, if you already have, your social media, including Facebook, whatever, social like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or even your Line, TikTok, or whatever. If you can include, please include, including third party as well. Like if you use the YELP or the third party, the directory, update everything. Make sure your check is the correct number. So like this apply to like branches, divisions. Some business, they have like multiple divisions around the whole Malaysia. Is like, so you need to give the right information so people can find you. So for example, this is the typical Google My Business. Like you see, you type exabyte, so you see these pictures, and then the map, review. Most important thing for me is if you are really like, for example, F&B, people want to like take away your address, your hours, and I would say the phone number is the most important. Like some people like they use the old phone number, that's why they keep complaining, hey, why I don't receive any call? Okay, and then please get verified. Okay, there's a few ways, so you all can refer. Please get verified, so you can like change everything, can update. Next, why after you update this, like Google will use this info, especially like refer to Google, the phone number. When you type exabyte phone number, actually it will appear something like this. You see, so people just click from your phone, and then they just click the phone. So imagine it's like this is the very huge opportunity for a business. Next, about the very basic, is called title and meta description. So what is that? So basically, its title is like when you search for online to Google, so you will see this blue color, the bold one is called title, and then the description, we call meta description or explanation of it. So I see many websites is like they just leave it as default. For example, you will see home default as a title. So when you search online, then you search the brand name, it's like, hey, ini betul like home default, like don't have any brand name. So makes just few seconds, just add your brand name. Okay, at least people will find you about. I will share some tips afterwards. And then the meta description, just the explanation. So let's move on. So for example, it's a tips for the title, just can straightforward. Tell me what you are, including brand name, company is very important. So people can find you. Directly type with your brand name, enter, then you'll find on like in Google search, including keyword about your product. So the keyword is like you can like including your primary product, your services. Just tell me what you're doing, what you're providing, your service or product. Insert location keyword also if you're only specific area. So like I have my colleague is he every day just look for like puchong, delivery service, whatever. If you only like deliver the particular service, you might as well like put the puchong, the bracket or dash, whatever, in the title or description, so your user know about your business. So meta description is very straightforward. You can find a lot in online elaborations, so including keywords, and then add to call to action. So you make it like the Google Ads, like Google Ads. So like prompt people to like click your website. So and then I will say again, research for a competitor. So this is the official guideline from Google Search Console. So you can read about this. I'll share this link to the organizer so you can just read the official. You can type this how to create good titles snippet in search results. So they show some example. And then I will suggest using, there's a lot of free tools. So you can just visualize the title. So I want to emphasize is the important keywords, please put at the beginning, because when human eyes, we want to read, right? We're always using the F pattern. So put the important keyword as beginning as possible. And then while they are suggested like the limited character is, if you insert too long, it will become so like it will just scratch out. So the key, I would say the tips is please put important keyword at the front. Don't spam keyword and then research competitor again if you don't know how to write. So the third tip is about image SEO. So this is extremely important, especially if you are doing e-commerce. So if you're using WordPress, so that you will see this ALT text here. Make sure you like insert what the picture is telling about. Just very simple telling what this image is telling about. So for example, if you're e-commerce, you have so many SKUs, so many products, you need to insert like actually just one type works only, so one few seconds per image. So when users find a particular like product, they can search from the image. Then imagine you get free traffic, users search from image and then click to your website. So it's a free bonus one. So many the beginner, they just ignore this because it's waste of time. But actually, it's quite important. Then this is the official example, like the given by the Google Webmaster. So they give some example. If it's a bad, what we're doing is the technical terms we call is alt text. So this is like apapun data. This is also bad. We call or spamming keyword stuffing. You can see puppy.baby.pup blah 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 blah. It's like too long and then very obvious is you're spamming the puppy words. Better one is alt, you put the puppy. The even better one is you describe what exactly is that one. Okay. And then next is about loading speed. Okay, I know a lot of very advanced feature, but I just focus on one tips. Why my website so slow? Is it the image are too big or too large? This is usually the popular problem. Then usually like they complain, oh, what XRY hosting so slow? Actually, when you click the website, oh god, they load like imagine 10 megabyte image in the whole page. That's why it's so slow. Okay, this is common sense. Like imagine like you load like 20 megabyte of image in your homepage. That's why it's so slow, especially if you're using phone. So try to reduce or optimize the resolution before upload. Like I know like typical like using phone, there's like you can take like 20, like 48 or 100 on 108 megapixel, right? The reality is you don't need so large like resolution. You just need to crop like certain amount of resolution needed in your theme. Compress the image, and then you also don't know how to use the PNG and JPEG. Sometimes, or even the latest format, as you call the web. Hey, what's the name already? The new one. Okay, don't use always JPEG. It's like because JPEG is larger file. It's only for transparently. Now, so this is how to check the speed. I just one tools only. This is the GTU matrix, and then you just log in, sign in an account, please log in, and then change to Hong Kong to get the nearest. So you can check what's the loading speed, and then what's the problem. This is a little bit technical issue, but at least you can find the official speed. And then this is I just share one only. You can like, before you upload to your website, you can use this free tool. Not only this, they actually add a lot. Upload this and then compress the image. You can just use this loosely, so it will like make your image like 1 megabyte become a few kilobyte per second file. I need to be very fast. Then fifth is about the Google Search Console. So in short, Google Search Console, I would say it's like your dashboard about your Google Organic. So many websites is like, when I ask about, do you have Google Search Console? Can you give me the login? Can I see data? So this is a very no-no if you like really for SEO. It's like this is a tool given by Google. So as you can see the screenshot, it's like you can see many information. So a cut short, actually, the first thing I will do is actually, do you need to like submit? Submit, in other words, is like the directory or yellow pages. So you need to like, hey Google, ini website saya, hey, can you look through this scan? I just update only. So you need to like give something. If not, imagine like Google, every day they scan trillion, zillion or whatever unit of website every day. So you need to give some signal, hey, this is my website. Okay, so like Google, oh, I know. Okay, and then another one is like, this is more important, is like you can monitor the performance. So you can see here the blue color is the total clicks. How many clicks, like total organic clicks. How many impressions. So how many people see from your website is free one. So this is, I would say, is the most accurate website about like Google Organic. So just get verified. They have new ways. So you can just go along. They even have like the YouTube tutorial how to get verified, how to like create. It's very straightforward. And then so another third thing is I will share is like, you see here, it's like you can see the error, right? So Google will tell you, hey, this page actually you have like few error, the text too small. No, this is about the mobility issue. So they give you signal like, hey, your website got a problem. Can you fix it? Okay. Next, about convert image or a PDF into text. So okay, the problem about the image and PDF is Google not understand the content in the image. Okay, you think, okay, I know Google is getting more advanced, but imagine this. Okay, I know a lot of websites that they want to fast, right? They just screenshot, the template PDF, right? Then screenshot, upload. Wow, okay, I can finish the website within like a few minutes. Okay. The issue is, see, I will repeat, Google not understand the content in the image at the moment. Okay, at the moment. You might get, or user will understand the whole, like, oh, I already have everything, I upload everything already, but actually Google not understand. So better way is you add your product description. This is like indirectly enhance the content. And then another point I want to point out PDF is, every time you click PDF, right, especially the download catalog, they're always using this, right? You need to like open new tab and then download. And then for me, is the crucial problem is not mobile friendly. So you need to zoom. Like your mouse, your hand like zoom. It's like so the mobile friendly is the issue. So convert PDF catalog into page, so become like mobile responsive. So regardless, people using phone, so that they can just check, they can just scroll everything. So it's like very responsive, regardless you're using tablet, iPad, or everything. So mobile responsive. I know, okay, you argue like, oh, actually I have hundreds of PDF, then how do I do? Start with the most important one, or make it as like the like more like the category pages, so people know about that. Because imagine if you want to research everything, I also need to like open in PDF, download, photo, open in PDF. If using desktop, like your laptop, okay, but what if your phone? It's like the user experience is not good. So another one thing is, this is the better format, crawlable content for Google. So the text HTML is actually easier Google to understand about your content. So this is more specifically is like the B2B, they upload the specification, that they just lazy, just copy paste everything, the PDF, the template, or snap a photo, then just upload, that's it. So you have time at home, right? So just convert them, become proper text. Next point, HTTPS SSL. Okay. During 2014, actually it's very old. It's a HTTPS as a ranking signal according to Google Webmaster. So this is official. I don't need to argue. And then, so like you will see the green log. In the old time, you will see the green, in the old version of Chrome, you will see the green log. But the new one is, maybe you will see just a very, black, but still important. So you can click, you can see the connection is secure. Your information, especially e-commerce business, password, credit, blah, 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 is prior to this. So it's for security. And then if you don't have any like HTTPS or SSL, sometimes you'll see this error like called the no secure. You dare to buy from this online store, just straightforward. You can argue with me, okay, HTTP or HTTPS doesn't important for like ranking, okay, you can win. But my question is this, even most of the user, the auntie, uncle, whatever, when you see the website, hey, not secure, what is the first impression? You dare to buy? Okay, that's it. Please do it, HTTPS. And then most of the hosting actually using cPanel. If you understand, they understand. They're actually giving the free like SSL for your hosting already. So just ask about your provider. This is actually it's a must for a website. Next, okay, content is king. I know it's very old, but I still need to mention. First thing is include keyword and related topic to your website. And then remember, it's actually you're solving problem for your site. Google love high quality content. Okay, I'll elaborate the keywords and related topics. It's very straightforward. What's the thing that your customer, your leads, everything, email people, WhatsApp, what's they always ask the FAQ, including that, elaborate in your website. So you imagine this concept, every time people only like, using the Facebook, right, or the WhatsApp or Instagram, PM, you only have one person. So we providing this, how to package, how is our package, or we deliver this to Puchong, to Subang, whatever. What if your website already have the full information, very complete, nice, neatly arranged, very nice, the layout very good. People no need to ask the question. People just directly, I already have this question. I just click order. That's it. So you remember the concept or not? People like always, I get PM. The long-term issue is you cannot scale. You only have one or two person. Like, okay, I know like you can install chatbot, everything, but our ultimate goal for like digital is we want to people directly like click order, purchase, that's it. No need any intervention by your sales resource is too slow. And then you can't scale as you need to hire more. What if like you just provide more content about topic, know about business, know about services, the basic one. Okay, solving problem for your user, just like I don't know how to cook. You're providing recipe with instruction, photo or video. Okay, that's good. I don't know how to, I'm using the tire one. I don't know how to check tire, is it still working fine or not? And then I don't know how to buy. You teach me. I provide the content. Just make it very simple. Don't know like, oh, no keyword, very difficult. So this is some of the tips. I just choose one only is free or freemium in other way is it called Uber Suggest. So it's free one. You can go this website and then check. So I type, actually this is, I type like I can spy any website including this is I using Exabyte. So from Exabyte I can see like, oh, in Malaysia they already, this is their strongest like SEO or Google organic keyword, Exabyte affiliate, blah, 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 blah. I can see the volume, position, estimate, receipt. So you can know, oh, if I in this industry, I want to like become another Exabyte. This is, I need to focus this kind of keywords. Okay, the data, the number won't lie. I know many big bosses is like, I'm older than you. Now you're telling me I should focus this. This is the truth. This is the data. The data don't lie. So although this is data don't lie, so I will say this is as a reference. Okay, it's free. You can try. I try to check other competitor or your, if local really data like data, try look for US or nearest Singapore or any country like your competitor. Research from their keywords. It's totally free. You can do it now. And then next is they have they have additional tools also free. Free keyword research tool that they have like, this is their terms, keyword ideas, top pages, content idea. So for me, this is very good to understand consumer behavior research. So that like just now panel discussion, experiment, you need to understand, correct story, our first speaker. From here, the keywords idea, actually you can know like, actually this kind of customer, this kind of industry, this kind of website, they're towards certain kind of, you can know from their keywords. So it's like reverse engineering. So you can know, I should include this keyword in your website also. Okay, so it's free. So give it a try. And then 90th, this is getting a little bit technical. Keep a simple URL structure. Okay, construct logically and in a manner that is most intelligent to human. If you're using WordPress, Wix, Easy Store, or like the modern URL, the CMS, the website builder is fine. But I see a lot of the older like CMS, there's still like, you can see like this funny, I saw this random like number. This give I would say the user experience is not good. Sometimes like people like WhatsApp, they want to copy paste link, they will say, ini like macam spam ke. Like if you give very straight information, it's like this page is about aviation, okay. Then it's also like very good people understand about this, like the relevance. So don't do this. Okay, I know you have like 100,000 of like like the SKU is like sometimes they will depend on your CMS is that will like generate this kind of like random like the unit number. But try as a user perspective is like, what is your experience about this? Okay, it doesn't matter. It's like your e-commerce is like, what about the important the important pages you have so long? It's like, people also like hard to remember the page also. So the source actually is from here. I actually like copy and paste and then make some changes about from the Google Search Console. You can click the source. So the second is about the argument about the hyphen and underscore or just stick together. This is about, I would say, it's like the discipline about the webmaster or the web developer where you're using like create a new page, a URL. Try to use the hyphen, the middle dash. Okay. So this is actually in dash and underscore in technical HTML is some like got another meaning one. So my experience is to use dash is give very good like experience like to your user. And then if you langsung didn't use it's like the okay, use the dash one. So try customize the URL. So this gives a very good experience for your customer. And then, so the last one, I would say mobile friendly side. Okay, mobile friendly this is not a new news. Actually, this is I wrote an article about mobile first indexing for all website by September 2020. In short is, what is mobile first indexing? Google will predominantly use the mobile version of the content for indexing and ranking. So in other words is, mobile version of your website is more important than your desktop in future. You'll like become primary reference for Google for your SEO performance. So I know like many designer is like, oh, they look so nice on my screen, right? Like 14-inch, 15-inch, like my external monitor. Wow, so good. Actually, when you check from your Google Analytics or whatever analytic tools you use, I would say big percentage, maybe 67% actually is mobile. Everything is mobile only. People want fast, people using phone. Like I want to check something of this. So your big chunk of actually website is come from a website. If you have like time now, actually you are redesigning, revamp website, check your mobile version first. So sometimes the typical problem is the layout like will lie, or the image too big, too small, and then so try customize about a mobile first and then desktop. Desktop is still important, I know, but depends on your but if you have time, the priority, your budget, try focus on your mobile first. Okay. And then, so this is the free tools. You can go just mobile friendly test. You can paste and then test URL. So you can get the exactly the version like your page is more friendly. Okay, that's good. I would say is maybe most of the website is more friendly now, except for the very old website. WordPress is definitely is become more friendly if using the latest version, 5.4.1.2. Okay. So that's all for this session, because I want to like answer the Q&A session. So this is my you can find me on my email, and then the LinkedIn is like can find me. So let me check on the Q&A. Do I have any Q&A?
Hi Martin. So far there's no Q&A. I think the only question they have is can they get access or get their hands on the slide, because you see there's so much of information, right? And you know, it's no justice, because in such a short time period, time frame, you have to explain a very huge topic. So I think the right answer to that is that yes, to all those who are still watching from Zoom or Facebook, yes, but this is more applicable to Zoom. If you have registered, we will send the slide pack to you, so you can actually refer to it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so thank you, Martin. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers, brother. I'll see you on the next on the segment, which we probably will have face to face in somewhere in the future. That was Martin Tang, digital marketing specialist from Exabyte Network. Now, before we move on to our next poll, it is also to inform you guys that MDEC is hosting its first and largest e-Dagang Expo, EDX. It's already happening since yesterday, 4th of May till 8th of May. Now, if you would like to actually get your hands on to the program details, because they have every day, they have sessions as well, knowledge sharing sessions. You know, if you are a traditional business owner, how do you digitalize your business? Or if you have a great idea, but you just do not know how to jump in or plunge in into the digital world, you know, right now, I believe the program detail or the URL link will be posted onto the comment section, and it will be coming in 5, 4, 3, 2. It'll come now, don't worry. Okay, so yes, for full program detail, please visit www.go-ecommerce.my/edx. Yes, so the EDX Expo, 4th of May till 8th of May. All right. And now, before we say bye-bye, the final poll will be coming up right now. So let's go to the final poll, please. And here we go. How would you rate today's session? 1 to 5, 5 being helpful, of course, 5. Would you recommend this webinar series to your contacts and employees? Yes, all the time. See, easy. Okay. To all those who logged in from Facebook and Zoom, you matter the most. As without you, this is just impossible. So thank you so much. Terima kasih, Nandri Chesheni. Now, I need your help. You will receive a survey via email after the episode. Now, please be so kind to give us feedback. Don't mark it as read or delete. This feedback is more to those who have joined for the earlier sessions and they logged off. If you are still with us right now, so you don't need to because we already have filled up the second form, so that's not a problem. So please, this plays a vital role during our reviews, so we can deliver, we can actually step up our game on our following segments. So thank you for joining us today. We will see you on the next episode next week, 12th of May, same time, same application. We can't just say same place anymore, right? So same time, same application. As we discuss next week's topic about quick relief measures to ease your cash flow problems. Yes, right now with the COVID-19 situation, cash flow is a problem. So next week we will be discussing about how do we actually have a countermeasure plan or the mitigation plan to settle the cash flow problem. That will be discussed next week and more. Till then, to those who are my Muslim friends, Selamat Berpuasa, and also to everybody being at home with your loved ones, stay safe, be safe.